Coming up next on Good Taste.
Oh, that's fantastic.
We're headed to a legendary ranch filled with adventure.
This area had millions of buffalo.
This little steakhouse has taken the world by storm, winning over celebrities and Texans alike.
Oh, it's always delicious.
The hospitality is unbeatable and the food is amazing.
From smoldering steaks to a legendary smoked peppered beef tenderloin, this place really rocks.
It's different than a lot of other restaurants.
It's West Texas different. I love it.
Plus,
We have a lot of fun together, or we wouldn't be here.
celebrating our 10th season, we're looking back at some familiar faces who touched our lives.
I'm a little more lazy, good old boy. And
No.
Why we'll never forget these special folks. And
They have a little bit more of a hammy kind of flavor.
You may have just coined a new term.
we're picking smoked pork ribs that'll make your mouth water.
Hope you're ready to dig in. Good Taste starts right now. Hi everyone, welcome to Good Taste. I'm Tangi Patton. Ready for a real taste of Texas? Well, we're at a world famous ranch near a town once called the Athens of the West. Out here, diners and even some celebrities drive hours just to round up some award-winning grub, like sizzling steaks and a very famous mesquite-smoked peppered tenderloin. This is the spirit of Texas, and this is Perini Ranch.
Come and get it. Welcome to the best little steakhouse in Texas.
Oh, we love it.
Perini's is wonderful.
We love Perini's. We've been coming here for a very long time.
Since 1983, the down-home hospitality here is second to none.
The cowboy hospitality.
Yes, ma'am.
Today, the tiny town of Buffalo Gap is home to this legendary landmark.
No matter what you order on the menu, it's always delicious.
Sizzling steaks, smoked meats, fabulous wines, and sensational side dishes create a hearty meal with something for everyone.
We cook all our steaks over live mesquite fire, which makes this great char and makes all the flavors just come together perfectly.
Just like they do on their famous ribeye.
Oh, that's fantastic. It really is.
Isn't that good?
There's also the half-pound beef ranch burger, which won Best Burger on the Today Show back in 2009.
It's really good, and you can order different sides to put on it.
The crispy, flaky fried catfish fillets paired with Perini house-made tartar sauce also remain a crowd pleaser.
I love the catfish. I think it's a fun step back in time, you know, since it's the old hay barn and it's different than a lot of other restaurants.
Here, you might expect to bump into a real cowboy. Some locals even show up on horseback. Celebrities flock here, and some visitors fly in by helicopter.
We have a fun friendship with Bob Thornton.
Owners Tom and Lisa Perini consider all guests their friends.
A celebrity is certainly fun, but every single person is important that comes in the stores.
Actor Robert Duvall even has his own favorite table near the window. He wrote the foreword to one of Tom's cookbooks as well. Country superstar Reba McEntire also visits the steakhouse frequently.
It's a very genuine setting. From Lisa and Tom all the way down, the hospitality is unbeatable and the food is amazing.
Tom's cooking career began on this real-life chuck wagon out on some big Texas cattle ranches.
This was a food wagon for cattle drives. This lid folds up, and this makes a kitchen.
How about that? A portable kitchen that you can take
Portable
anywhere.
kitchen if you're feeding 15, 20 cowboys.
So I'm guessing at one time Buffalo roamed in these parts.
This area had millions of buffalo. You would get all kinds of migration with buffalo and Indians and everything. There were cattle drives.
Visitors can actually book a cabin and stay right on the ranch, surrounded by the tranquil sounds of nature and a friendly herd of Texas longhorns. These picturesque mountains boast sunrises and sunsets like nowhere else.
You know, in this part of Texas, we have these wonderful stars and open sky, which is wonderful.
It's a gift. It's fabulous.
It is a gift.
Those lucky stars brought another gift to Perini Ranch in 1995. That's when the New York Times chose the now famous Perini mesquite-smoked peppered beef tenderloin as the mail-order gift of the year.
We were #1 out of 2,000 entries.
Oh my
But
gosh.
the punchline is, we didn't know there was a contest.
Just by pure chance, their product got entered, and the opportunity of a lifetime fell into place for the Perinis.
You have an angel on your shoulder.
I'm telling you.
She works at the New York Times.
Soon after, their business took off like a West Texas stampede. Now you can order delicious products from the Perinis and even dine at their sister cafe in Buffalo Gap.
It is charming. It just oozes charm, truly.
And features what may be my favorite chicken fried steak ever. A popular side at the Steakhouse is the green chili hominy.
And it is as good as my mama made.
And we've got the recipe.
So we're cooking in the kitchen with Tom and Jason, and we're making a very popular side here. So tell us how we make this.
First, you're going to start with some fresh bacon, and you want to saute that up and get it nice and crispy. We're going to saute our onions with the bacon drippings.
Okay.
Get your hominy nice and boiling hot. We're going to add cheddar cheese.
Add those sauteed onions and bacon, green chilies, and minced jalapeno.
It's looking good, Jason.
It's looking great. It smells amazing already.
It all gets mixed together casserole style and popped into the oven for about 30 minutes at 350 degrees. Then the famous Perini hominy is served.
Cheers. It's delicious.
It's different.
It's West Texas different. I love it. We'll have this recipe online, but also they have a fabulous cookbook. I highly recommend. Very good. Guys, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
For dessert, this cowboy concoction is so darn good. It's Tom's Texas twist on strawberry shortcake, using his great-grandmother's recipe for homemade cowboy sugar biscuits. Truly scrumptious. And then there's this trailblazing treasure.
I really like the jalapeno cheesecake.
Truly, there's a spirit here as big as Texas.
I've lived in Abilene and here all my life and been around cowboys and big ranches and stuff. So the spirit of Texas, I love. Ranching is very difficult. It's one of those businesses where you can do everything right and lose. But the ranching and the cowboy spirit, it's still here. I really like that.
If you're hungry for adventure, you'll definitely want to blaze a trail to Buffalo Gap and visit Perini Ranch.
You can come here with your whole family and know you're going to have a great time together.
One thing's for sure, out here, you'll find nothing but happy trails.
Well, here's to the Texas spirit and
There
Perini
you
Ranch.
go. And the beef industry.
And the beef
Yes.
industry, absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Perini's was fantastic. I can't wait to go again. Still to come, oh, it's delicious. I love it.
Our favorite pitmaster shows us how to pick the perfect pork rib. But first,
it was the funniest thing the first time I ever made a roux. It was so thick, you could have cut it with a knife.
we're paying tribute to some amazing foodie favorites gone too soon. And just in the nick of time, I've discovered some fantastic West Coast wines in my wine finds.
We propose a toast coming up next.
Get social with us. Follow us on Instagram at Goodtaste TV. Cisco, at the heart of food and service.
As you may have heard, this is our 10th season of Good Taste. Seems just like yesterday, we were embarking on a food and wine lover's dream. Along the way, we've met so many incredible individuals who've touched our lives in so many ways. Sadly, some have left us far too soon. We're forever grateful for what they taught us, and as we look back with joy in our hearts, we know we'll never forget them.
If you've ever two-stepped in the legendary Green Hall in New Braunfels, you can thank Pat Molak for that.
I was actually looking for a dance hall. A buddy of mine said, there's a dance hall up near New Braunfels that's for sale.
Pat opened Green Hall in 1975, but he didn't stop there. He also opened up some other incredible spots, like Mosey's, the Grist Mill, Down on Grayson, and Josephine Street Cafe.
Figured out how to flip a burger and cook a T-bone.
Pat was a pure Texan through and through, and stayed humble till the end.
I'm a little more lazy, good old boy. And
No.
Pat is one of several movers and shakers on the Texas food scene who have left us over the years. We won't forget any of them.
We were looking for a little cabin on 1 acre with no yard work. The next thing I knew, somebody said, we're putting in a vineyard.
Everybody comes out here, they're part of our fried family.
I like the way you roll.
Thank you, ma'am.
My husband said, Chrissy, you got to go to work. So I said, okay, so where do I start? And he said, you're going to start with washing pots and pans. So I said, okay, I'll do it, and I'll do it cheerfully.
We're, I think, doing something extraordinary that most people didn't think possible, and that is producing extraordinary wines.
I've been such a fan of the things you do for so long. How did you two come together?
Well, we were on a dating site together. No,
Yeah.
I'm joking.
Lee has more great ideas before breakfast time than I'll have in a month or two.
It was the funniest thing the first time I ever made a roux. It was so thick you could have cut it with a knife instead of eating it with a spoon.
We've always worked together, and we still work together. We fight together, and then we get back to work together. We go have dinner or have a glass of wine, but we have a lot of fun together, or we wouldn't be here.
And above all else, never forget where you came from. He's, always remain humble.
We want people to walk in the door and forget if they have any troubles. Forget it, leave it. We want to take you on a trip.
It's not like some Asian food that you see every day.
So good. It is delicious.
Thank you.
In case you haven't heard, we're celebrating 10 years of Good Taste wine finds right here at HEB. Can't think of a better place to be right now. Up first, a lovely Chardonnay any time of year, the J. Lohr October Night. You're going to smell fragrant gardenias on the nose of this wine. Chardonnay is nicely balanced, not too oaky and not too buttery at all. It's going to pair with chicken, pasta dishes with cream sauce, and crab cakes. The grapes for this wine are always harvested in October, thus the name October Night. The grapes for this bottle were harvested October 29th of 2021. Cheers to October Night at about $23 a bottle. Up next, I never liked chemistry in school, but I am loving this wine. This is the Chemistry Pinot Noir. and it's made with grapes from both Oregon and California. You're going to taste beautiful bean cherries up front with hints of vanilla and raspberry. I loved this wine, and I loved its price. The Chemistry Pinot Noir is only $18 a bottle. Up next, Cabernet fans, wouldn't leave you out, the Rayburn Cabernet from Sonoma. This is an easy drinking Cabernet that will definitely be a crowd pleaser with its dark fruit flavors of cherries and plums. It finishes with dark cocoa, and it has a nice long finish. The Rayburn Cabernet from Sonoma is only $20 a bottle. I found these wines and many, many more at my H-E-B. Cheers to 10 years. Still to come, baby backs or spares. Tips from an expert on which make the best pork ribs.
There we have a beautiful pork spare rib.
Get ready for a juicy, mouth-watering masterpiece.
We'll spare a rib or two for you next.
Good news! Good Taste is starting a podcast. Head to our Good Taste with Tangi YouTube channel now and subscribe for a chance to win a weekend at the beautiful Houstonian Hotel and Spa. Be sure to click your notifications on. The fun starts in January. It's gonna be a great year. Good Taste with Tangi is brought to you in part by H-E-B.
In Texas, it is barbecue time any time of the year, and we are coming to you from the barbecue capital of, why not say the world, Lockhart, Texas, and I'm with the 4th generation pitmaster at the original Black's Barbecue here in Lockhart, and we're talking ribs, right?
Yes, pork ribs specifically. There are different cuts to it. It's all the same animal, but depending on which part it comes from, it profiles, cooks a little bit differently. There's a few different types that we'll talk about. In the grocery store, you'll mostly find pork spare ribs, baby back ribs, and a St. Louis cut rib. And so it's all the same rib cage of the animal, but it's just how you cut it and which part it comes from. So right here I have the spare rib, which comes down lower on the animal. This is closer to the sternum, the belly. Actually the pork belly sits right on top of this. So
that's the good bacon stuff.
That's where bacon comes from. So they peel that off, and then you're left with this spare rib. And the way that you get St. Louis cut rib is you actually cut these rib tips off. At Black's Barbecue, we cook the whole rack of spare rib, and this is the cut that we love the best, I personally love the best. We also sell the baby back rib as well, and that's very popular in the grocery store too. Here, just for demonstration purposes, you can see this was a rack of pork spare ribs, but I cut it, and this would be a St. Louis cut, and these are the rib tips that we cut off. So if we were to put it back together after we cooked it, that's where they would come from.
Gotcha.
What I love about this full cut spare rib, go right in between those bones. There we go. So there we have a beautiful pork spare rib. That's one of my favorite bites, is right there in between. So I always go for the pork spare ribs. You got that beautiful color. But baby back ribs, they're great as well. They have a little bit more of a hammy kind of flavor, a little bit less fat.
Hammy, huh? You may have just coined a new term.
But as you can see, it's not still has some marbling in there, but not as much as the spare rib. And so you're gonna get more of a meaty, a little bit chewier of a bite.
Cheers, y'all.
Cheers. I'll go for my favorite bite.
It's very good. Can I compare it to the other?
There's a spare rib for you. Big difference.
They're both great. Oh, it's delicious. I love it. All right, so Barrett's tip is the rib you like best?
Pork spare ribs.
We've got the tips online. Thank you. We're celebrating our 10th season of Good Taste, and while our show is designed to make you hungry, maybe thirsty, I felt led to add another ingredient to the mix here: optimism. Every day, all day, we get plenty of bad news, so time for some positive thoughts. Smiles are contagious. Whenever I feel uptight, stressed, I head outside to my backyard. For me, the outdoors is instant relief. There are lots of little life truths lurking around every corner out there. All we have to do is look. Simple things. Take a look at this flower pot. In the morning, as the sun's rising, the plant leans into the light. It needs the light because the light provides nourishment, life, literally, for the plant. In the evening, as the sun is setting, the plant leans the opposite direction to drink up every last bit of that valuable sunshine, the life, literally its energy. It reminds me to be mindful of seeking more light in my life, more truth, more good things, more positive thoughts. And I'm mindful of where that light comes from.
When in Houston, the Good Taste team stays at the Houstonian Hotel, Club and Spa and dines at Tribute Restaurant, where chefs create authentic cuisine and live fire dishes from Texas, Louisiana, and Mexico. The 27-acre resort in the Galleria area is perfect for weekend getaways or corporate events.
Okay, time to eat, y'all. You can dig into our list of restaurants to choose from at goodtaste.tv. That's also where you'll find the recipes from today's show. Also, get social with us. Find us on Facebook at Good Taste with Tangi and follow us on Instagram at Good Taste TV. Thanks so much for joining us. We'll see you right back here next week. Cheers to good taste.
We have people that fly in from Dallas and have dinner and go back. And, you know, we've had people come in from Japan and go back. You know, that's expensive, but they come in and have a good dinner and they go home.
That puts pressure on you guys. These guys flew in on their own helicopter. Let's make it even better than great.
It does.